You've been walking through challenges most people never saw. The wait, the silence, the trials, they weren't random. They were an invisible test from God, and you passed. Now your life is aligning with the purpose placed deep within you. Doors will open, the right people will arrive, and opportunities will perfectly match who you were meant to be. This is the moment your path begins to fulfill your true calling. In this video, how to recognize the signs you've passed the test, what changes to expect in the coming days, why your influence is about to grow. The waiting is over. Spirituality, astrology, astronomy, universe. Have you ever felt that the air around you has changed? As if something invisible was moving, but it couldn't be explained? Today, it's not just your imagination. The space between what you see and what you don't see is thinner, and forces that have slept for centuries are beginning to stir. Portals that don't exist on the physical map are now aligning, and your name, etched in codes that only the universe recognizes, is beginning to be called. You are not here by chance. Something was waiting for this exact moment to reveal itself to you. The air tonight carries a different weight, as if invisible particles were dancing to a secret rhythm, led by forces you don't see but feel. It's a rare moment, one that ancient traditions called the hour when the veil becomes translucent. Imagine streams of light crossing through space-time, connecting points that would never meet in the physical world, but on the subtle plane, were always destined to touch. You didn't get here by chance. Before your eyes even turned to this screen, something, a whisper in the back of your mind, a dream you couldn't forget, a repeated sequence of numbers, or an inexplicable premonition, was already paving the way. It's the vibrational call, which ignores distance clocks and logical explanations. It operates in the silent language of synchronicity, bringing messages closer at the exact moment your energy is ready to receive them. Today, the portal opens. Not the kind of portal you see with your eyes, but the one you feel pulsing inside you, as if the very fabric of your life is about to rearrange itself. It's an event guarded for ages, awaiting the perfect moment to release a frequency that changes everything. If you stay until the end, you will realize that your spirit already knew, and was just waiting for confirmation. You might think you came to this video because you were idly browsing, or because the algorithm decided. But in reality, it was your own frequency that brought you here. There is an invisible field around every being, a field that vibrates, sends signals, and responds to other similar fields. Today, that field of yours responded to a silent call, an echo that originated long before this moment and has now found you. We call this the vibrational call. It happens when the energy you carry aligns with a message, as if both were magnetized to each other. It's no different from when you think of someone, and a few minutes later that person sends a message. It's the same logic, but on a deeper, more spiritual scale. The universe creates intersections so that what you need to find, finds you. Perhaps you've noticed that things that once gave you pleasure no longer have the same luster. Places that once seemed comfortable now feel strangely heavy. Certain conversations, which used to flow, now seem to drain you. These are classic signs that something inside you is changing frequency. It's as if your own energy is saying, it's no longer here, no longer like this. And in this void that is beginning to open up, the search arises. A silent, but persistent, search. It leads you to hear phrases that echo, to notice symbols, to feel that there's something more waiting for you. It is at this point that messages like this arrive, not as entertainment, but as an answer. You were guided here because your energy asked for it, and at the same time the cosmic moment responded. This synchrony is rare. It's the union between the internal need and the perfect external window. It's not a coincidence. It's vibrational engineering. What is about to happen is a natural extension of this call. It is the next step of your awakening, the confirmation that the path you have been silently treading was not in the dark, but was being illuminated from within, as you were ready to see. There are moments when the energy of the world seems to condense, as if the very air is charged with a meaning we can't explain with words. Today is one of those moments. On planes our physical eyes cannot reach, lines of force intersect and form a rare point, what ancient esoteric schools called hours of power. These periods do not follow the logic of the common calendar. They obey the clock of the cosmos, marked by subtle movements, alignments, and pulses that shape the fabric of reality. Imagine how, in history, certain moments changed the course of everything. Discoveries, encounters, decisions that seemed small, but opened up new eras. Many of these turning points happened in moments like this when the collective energy was ready to receive and respond. Today, this same current is moving, but not for everyone, only for those who are tuned in to perceive it. The night, especially, is the territory of this subtle reception. When the noise of the world fades, perception expands. It's as if invisible layers begin to reveal themselves, allowing messages, visions, and energetic codes to approach you with more clarity. That's why we dream more intensely, sense changes, and get goosebumps for no apparent reason. At this very moment, energetic currents are passing through you, even if silently. They carry information, not in the human sense of words and phrases, but as impressions, images, sensations that first reach the spirit and only later find translation in the mind. The reason for all this is simple and profound. You are entering an energetic territory of transfer. Think of it as crossing an invisible bridge. On one side, life as you know it with its patterns, habits, and repetitions. On the other, something that does not yet have a complete form, but that already pulses and calls to you. And this crossing doesn't happen all the time. It needs this kind of alignment that is present today. The moment is now because the right frequencies have met. What will be activated depends on your willingness to receive, and since you are here, that is a sign that this willingness already exists. Before we continue, if this video is being helpful to you, please subscribe, leave your like, and comment below on what you are feeling so far. This helps the energy of this message reach more people who need to hear it. The activation that is approaching is not the creation of something new, but the release of something that has been inside you from the beginning. A code guarded in your energetic DNA, waiting for the exact moment to reveal itself. Just as a seed silently carries the entire shape and strength of a tree, you also carry frequencies, gifts, and internal keys that are now beginning to move. When this code unlocks, the first change is intuitive clarity. You start to perceive the truth behind words, the real reasons behind gestures. What once went unnoticed begins to light up, as if your consciousness is adjusting its focus. Along with this, symbolic vision emerges. Dreams become more vivid, filled with images that seem charged with meaning. Symbols start to repeat. Animals, colors, numbers, landscapes, all acting as direct messages to your spirit. There is also vibrational healing. You will notice that your presence begins to restore frequencies, both in yourself and in others. Small touches, words, or even the simple fact of being in a place can alter the environment, making it lighter and more balanced. Another manifestation is silent strength. In the midst of chaos, you remain firm. Your energy becomes an anchor, a stability that others feel without you having to explain. And perhaps even more subtly, a magnetic voice emerges. Your words gain energetic weight, crossing not only the ear but the internal field of those who listen to them. This voice is not necessarily about speaking more, but about speaking with truth and presence. Each person will receive what is most necessary for their path at this moment. For some, the activation will be like a sudden fire. For others, like a river that begins to run silently, but constantly. The essential thing is to understand that your activation is unique. It does not need to and should not be compared to anyone else's. What is coming is not a random gift. It is the consequence of everything you have already lived, of every fall and every overcoming. Now this energy begins to flow because you have built space for it to exist. And when it settles, you will realize that it is not just something you receive, but something you begin to carry. Like a lighthouse that, once lit, never goes back to darkness. Every spiritual path has seasons. There are periods of planting, where life seems to demand more than it gives. There are periods of pruning, where things, people, and habits are removed, often without you understanding why. And there are periods of harvest, moments when everything that was cultivated in silence begins to manifest. What is happening now is exactly that. You have reached the point where the harvest becomes possible. Lately, you may have gone through losses that seemed unfair, friendships that fell apart, opportunities that slipped away, places that no longer made sense. You may have felt loneliness, emptiness, and even doubts about yourself. But in reality, these experiences were energetic purification. It was not about punishment, but about cleansing, creating space for the new energy to find a place to inhabit you. The universe does not pour water into an already full cup. Likewise, the energy that is arriving needed space, clarity, and preparation. Every departure, every silence, Every night when you asked yourself, "Why is this happening to me?" was part of a larger alignment. It is now and not before because you are vibrating differently. What could have been wasted or distorted before can now be sustained. Your frequency has matured, your field is more stable, and that is why you can receive without losing what will be given. There is also a cosmic aspect. Certain energy flows simply were not available before. Like tides that rise and fall, they have their own cycles, and now one of them is aligned with your journey. This convergence between your internal preparation and the external opening is what makes this moment unique. That's why this message arrived now, not before, not after, now, because the doors have opened both inside and outside of you, and everything that is sown in this phase will have multiplied strength to flourish. The activation that is approaching will not come with trumpets or blinding lights. It will begin subtly, like a breeze that precedes a change in the weather. The first sign will be an increase in sensitivity. Places that once seemed neutral to you may cause discomfort, as if the density of the environment were palpable. At the same time, light and harmonious spaces will bring immediate relief, almost like coming home. Your dreams will become clearer and symbols will begin to repeat. Maybe you see the same images night after night, or notice patterns that once went unnoticed. An animal, an object, a landscape. Each of them carries a message, and the more attention you give, the clearer they will become. Another frequent sign will be unlikely coincidences. People you haven't seen in years will reappear at the exact moment. Phrases that answer questions you haven't asked aloud will emerge from unexpected sources. Numerical sequences will repeat on clocks, signs, and receipts, as if to confirm that you are on the right path. You may also notice subtle changes in your own expression. Your voice, for example, may gain a firmer, more magnetic tone. Your gaze may become more luminous, attracting attention naturally. This happens because your frequency changes, and the physical body always responds to this transformation. It's important to remember that in the beginning, all of this may seem small, but the energy, once awakened, expands as you use it consciously. It's like lighting a flame. If you protect and feed it, it grows. If you ignore it, it remains there, but its light stays contained. There will be moments when doubt will try to infiltrate, questioning whether what you feel is real or just imagination. Know that this doubt is part of the process. Resisting it does not mean fighting, but continuing to walk even without all the answers. The activation is patient, but constant. It doesn't get lost. It waits for you to recognize it. Receiving a new frequency is like receiving a sacred flame. It is powerful, but it also requires care. In the beginning, this energy can be more sensitive, still adjusting to your field. That's why protecting what you have just received is not a luxury. It is a necessity. The first step is to close the doors that drain energy. This means realizing which environments, conversations, and habits leave you exhausted or confused. Heavy places, people who vibrate in constant criticism, consumption patterns that numb the mind. All of this acts as leaks in your field. And now that you carry something precious, every leak matters. Creating personal rituals will be fundamental. It doesn't have to be anything complex or too esoteric. In fact, the simpler, the more consistent it will be. It could be starting the day with conscious breathing, a few minutes of absolute silence, or direct contact with nature. These moments are like recharging the battery of your new frequency, keeping it stable. Another protection is the preservation of what is still maturing. Not everything you receive needs to be shared immediately. Speaking prematurely can leak energy, especially if you have not yet consolidated what was revealed. Keeping certain experiences to yourself until they become solid is an act of wisdom and self-protection. You will also need to be attentive to signs of energetic interference. Sudden fatigue for no apparent reason, unusual irritability, confused thoughts, or a feeling of heaviness in the body can be signs that something external is trying to interfere. Recognizing these signs is half the protection. The other half is acting quickly to rebalance yourself. For this, there are simple and effective techniques. Taking an intentional bath, imagining that the water washes away all dense energy, walking barefoot on the earth to discharge vibrational excess, listening to sounds or mantras that elevate your internal state, and most importantly, saying no when you feel that something does not resonate with your new vibration. Protecting your frequency is not isolating yourself from the world, but consciously choosing where and with whom you share your energy. This choice is not selfishness. It is responsibility. After all, the more integral your frequency remains, the more positive impact it will have both in your life and in the lives of those who cross your path. Carrying a new energy is like wearing a custom-made suit. It changes the way you move, what you attract, and even what you can endure. After activation, something in you repositions itself. It is almost inevitable that your choices will change, not because you force yourself to, but because your vibration no longer matches what it was before. You will realize that some environments simply no longer fit in your life. The sound, the conversation, the atmosphere, everything will feel out of place. This is not arrogance, it's a natural adjustment. Your energy has become more selective, and this is a sign of spiritual maturity. At the same time, walking with the new energy means allowing it to guide your steps, even when mental logic tries to question it. Many times, you will feel like saying no to things you would have accepted before, or saying yes to opportunities that seem unexpected. This is the intelligence of the frequency acting. Trust it. It's important to remember that this energy was not given to be shown off, but to be lived. True power is not in announcing the change, but in allowing it to speak for itself, in the glow of your eyes, the serenity of your presence, and the firmness of your choices. Over time, you will notice that people start to react differently. Some will be attracted by your vibration. Others, uncomfortable, will move away. Both reactions are part of the alignment process. Your task is to remain faithful to the energy you received, without trying to adjust it to please or avoid the reactions of others. Walking with the new energy is, above all, an act of responsibility. It is understanding that it will shape not only your journey, but also the way you impact the world around you. The first 72 hours after an activation are like the sunrise of a new cycle. The light is still soft, but it already announces a completely different day. In this short period, the newly awakened energy begins to integrate into your field, and every experience, thought, and emotion acts as a mold for this frequency. You may notice more intense signs, clearer and more symbolic dreams, physical sensations of sudden heat or cold, goosebumps for no reason, or even a slight pressure on your head, as if something is expanding internally. These manifestations are not coincidences. They are fine-tuning happening on your subtle planes. The revealing dreams deserve special attention. Often they will bring images and stories that carry instructions, confirmations, or even tests. Write everything down when you wake up, even if it seems confusing. As the days go by, the patterns will begin to reveal themselves. This is also a period of emotional and energetic tests. Seemingly mundane situations may arise to gauge your reaction. It is as if the universe wants to confirm if you can sustain the energy you received, even in the face of small frictions. In addition, be prepared for unexpected confirmations, encounters with people who bring messages without knowing it, phrases in books or songs that answer exactly what you have been thinking, or repeated visual signs, such as numbers and symbols. These are anchors to reinforce that you are on the right path. During these 72 hours, practice mindfulness. Move consciously. Speak with intention. Avoid dispersing energy in useless discussions or excessive distractions. Think of this period as a time to seal the frequency, strengthening what has been activated so that it becomes a natural part of who you are. Now, something in you has already been touched, and that cannot be unseen or undone. It's like crossing a door that, once opened, cannot be closed. You carry a new frequency with you, and with it comes the responsibility and privilege of living in alignment with what you have received. The previous cycle ends here. Everything that belonged to the previous phase, the old patterns, the automatic repetitions, the bonds that no longer support your growth, begins to dissolve. In its place, an unknown but fertile territory emerges, ready to be explored. See yourself now as a guardian of this energy. You are not just a receiver, but a channel through which it manifests in the world. What you do with it will determine not only the direction of your journey, but also the impact you will have on the paths of others. Imagine a vast portal of light before you, pulsing softly as if breathing. As you cross it, you feel the energetic current expand throughout your being, anchoring itself deeply. You are no longer the same. The portal opens, the energy flows, and now you walk as a guardian of what the universe has entrusted to you. If you felt that something was activated within you today, continue walking with us. Subscribe, leave your like, and share this message with someone else who is also ready to awaken. The portal has already opened, and the journey has just begun.